Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to talk about Fables, Volume 6, Homelands. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're talking more Fables. Yes, we are still trudging through our way of the Fables books. I reckon by the time we finish the entire series, which is 22 volumes long, possibly the trade will be out for the 23rd volume, or I don't know. I think they're doing 6 or 12 issues this year for the 20th anniversary of Fables. So we are here in volume 6, and after a slower volume 5 and in a great volume 4, we're kind of starting to build up again of a confrontation between the Fabletown folks, the people we're following, and the Adversary back in the Homelands. And that is where we start our main tale here in this book. This book is about Big Boy Blue, who disappeared at the end of the last volume with the magical blue cloak and the Vorpal sword that goes snicker snack anytime it kills something. It cuts through anything, and he's got this magic cloak that can help him transform into animals and keep him hidden and protected. Like, it's truly a magical, this thing is way better than the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter. Let me just say that. I'd rather have this cloak that Boy Blue has got than the stupid one from Harry Potter, because it does way more. Transforms him, disguises him, a whole bunch of stuff. It's truly magical. Anyway, I really enjoyed this volume. I really did. So this is the Adversary here on the front, if you didn't know. Kind of, sort of. We find out who is behind this big guy, the true power in Fabletown that was hinted at back in Volume 4 when Geppetto's he made minion men came and attacked Fabletown. So hints to that, right? But we get all the answers here, basically, and the idea was that the true power behind the Adversary and taking over the Homelands was just that he was approached to do some things, he did them, and then he had to redo them and re-up, and the more he did it, the deeper he got, until finally it was just easier to take everything over and control it himself like the grand puppet master he is than actually kind of fix the problem, you know what I mean, or address problems. It was it's easier to get rid of somebody and create a dupe than to, that I can control, than to actually negotiate with them and things like that. So that's kind of how it steamrolled into the war of everything else. That was kind of the setup, what his origin story was. We didn't really get how he allied with goblins or any of the other creatures, or why he suddenly started to take over everything in a mass power. But it's pretty obvious that this person, the true Adversary here, is very power hungry and doesn't want to let it go. And even though he still wants to have this air of fragility about him, he doesn't want to seem like he's powerful or seem like he's the one in charge. He would rather look like he's behind the scenes rather than anything else. But he's still got rules, so there's a few people in the Homelands that know who's actually in charge. So that's pretty interesting. What is also fun about this volume is there's 2 issues that start up here that lead off into Jack of Fables. So if you want to know where Jack of Fables starts, it starts after Volume 6. Basically, it's Jack going to Hollywood and making his fortunes as a movie producer, producing the great trilogy, Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack and Jill, Go Up the Hill, Jack and... there's other stories that he's involved with, but basically a great Lord of the Rings type trilogy, makes a bunch of money, and then ultimately gets caught because he's got little mini Jill here, who calls home and says, hey, come get this guy. And then Beast shows up and says, you're done, get out of here. So that is where Jack of Fables kind of goes. So you can see it goes from here. And if you look at the description of Jack of Fables, Volume 1, it says, following Jack's adventures in Hollywood, and that's exactly the 2 issues here. So if you want to go read Jack of Fables, read Fables up through number 6, and then go read that. I've actually never read that. I've only ever read the main series. I know there's Fairest and a couple other spin-offs that I haven't read before. But so far, at least, we haven't gotten into a bunch of spin-offs yet. But so far, I feel like you can just read the main series. But as we go along, I'll let you know how I'm feeling if I need to go read something else, or if I did go read something else to understand it more, all that sort of stuff will come down the road as Fables grows in popularity in its time and spins off into more Vertigo titles. But the art here is pretty good. You got Mark Buckingham doing the main storyline, Homelands, doing a phenomenal job. Not really doing the kind of, here's some violence here, not really doing the page border panels and stuff that he was doing in the last volume that I really loved. He does do it a little bit later. When Boy Blue is captured and is talking to Pinocchio here, you've got like this little birdie at the top that's going doing some different poses as you turn the pages. But that comes in a little bit later. But the main stuff here is still very, very imaginative as we're journeying through the Homelands. It's almost as if he doesn't do the borders unless like we're inside a town or something like that, or inside the domicile. Like out in the open, in the wild, his panel layouts are very wild and imaginative as well. So I really do like that. He changes it up a bit. We got some guest art from Lan Medina, David Hahn, other stuff in here. You get a little like a one issue story here where we go back to Fabletown, and you got Lan Medina returning to the series here to deal with Mowgli and Bagheera and kind of introducing those characters back into the main roster. We still haven't seen Snow and Bigby. Like, we don't see Snow and Bigby in this volume at all, although it's mostly a Boy Blue tale, and that is purely fine with me. He thinks he's going to rescue Little Red Riding Hood, but in fact kind of gets himself in trouble. But at the end, we're left building towards a bigger conflict, because now we've had the initial invasion of Fabletown. They defeated all the wooden soldiers, and now we have this infiltration with the Adversary. Now the Adversary's on to Fabletown, knowing that they're building their forces and they're going to start doing some more things. So that is cool. So I'm excited to read the next volume. Fables, really good series. I love how it kind of has these ups and downs so far to each volume, or in between each volume. You know, you got a really good volume that, like, volume 4 was excellent, and then you got a kind of a downer, you know, coasting kind of thing with volume 5, a couple of issues with a break, and then kind of we're climbing back up the hill here in terms of the conflict, you know, in between. But at the same time, still got little conflicts and resolutions in every issue and in every volume. So the way it's paced out here is really a great way to show how to do pacing in like a long period of time over comics with storylines. Each issue has an arc. There's an arc to the entire arc, and there's an overall arc that we're going up and down here on the hills, so to speak, or on this roller coaster, you know, and big payoffs and big climbs and big cliffhangers and stuff like that. It's really, really enjoyable and a really easy read. So again, if you're still following, thank you for watching 6 episodes so far of Fables, my review. We're doing 22. We're going to do them all. So may this live on forever in the annals of YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what you thought of Fables Volume 6, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.